Um, yeah, I guess because it's the notion of original music, and or something that you and I have no problem with people with a great singer or a great musician playing someone else's music. That's not what I'm talking about. But you know, like Frank Sinatra, or we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the jazz violinist Stuff Smith. You know, playing on some old Tin Pan Alley song and making it his own. You know, so I'm not really talking about that. But you know, when you because of in popular music, because of people like, I don't know, Bob Dylan or the Beatles or whoever, you know, you kind of go, oh, okay, I can come up with my own thing. I can come up with my own couplet and my own chord. That's the ideal. So you do it, you know, the original music. And so when you start off in some little band and you're playing on a Tuesday night, you know, you do your original thing. You're not there to do cover songs. That's what you do if you want to just make beer money and go play at a fraternity party, or maybe if you graduate from that, maybe you play in a wedding band. And I got nothing against people that play in wedding bands, but there's a distinction between I create my own thing, and then there are people that don't create their own thing and they just provide a backdrop. They provide entertainment while people are doing other things.
But I mean, there are people who, you know, Frank Sinatra being an example, who are, you know, they're not the backdrop, they're the show.
Right, they're the show,
you know,
exactly.
And I think partly it's, you know, like I can identify with that impulse, is like, because that's the thing, when you realize that that's one thing people do in music, you're like, oh, that's the thing I can do. I can write something, and I can, you know, and it, you know, less clear that you could be Frank Sinatra, maybe.
But I think the beach ball thing, and I think it was a big blow up shark, is what it was, and it was being kind of volleyballed around at a festival, and I just had to stop midstream and just end it and make them. I think they threw it up at me or something. We got rid of it somehow, and then we continued. But I think that was just kind of my gut reaction to it, as opposed to an intellectual reaction. But thinking about the question now, I think what it is that reeks of me not being original, and it reeks of, well, I'm just a backdrop. I'm just a part. This is a party, and we're having a party, and woo, we're all having a party. So it's not really about me. It's about us. It's about this party, and like that's definitely not ever why I got into music or where I come from or whatever. That's definitely, it was never written down as a rule, but I mean that's definitely part of one of the rules or something. It's like, it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about what's going on up on the stage. Okay, you got the mic now. Okay, you do your thing. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. Show us. You know, you talk about the kind of an audience that, especially a real urban audience, you know, like in the big city, they see a lot of things come through, and they're not just going to applaud and everything.
You look like you're in Toronto right now.
This kind of a thing right here, you know, this kind of, you know, and then maybe even like, you know, maybe they pay a lot of money for the ticket, but it's still like, show us what you got, you know what I mean, and impress us. Give me my money's worth. You think you're so hot? Yeah, well, look at this. You know what I mean? And so it's that kind of tension, which I think ultimately you crave, because it's you want to go, yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. Well, yeah. It's like that kind of a thing.
But it's funny, like in Toronto, the sort of art music people kind of came full circle with that to some degree. Like finally it was like, all right, you motherfuckers, stop standing there with your arms closed. We're going to do everything we can possibly do to force you to dance and consider that you might have a physical reaction to this music. And it was just Toronto culture needed that. But it's funny, like the different things in different moments mean different things. It's all sort of this whole semiotics of audience performer reactions that way.
But I guess we should.
Yeah.
Actually, but we did say, so I got a sidetrack because I asked Trace if he had a question, but then you were saying someone else might.